Magandang umaga po, Pilipinas. Good evening to all our viewers in the US. Ako po ulit si Gani Celzo, and I'd like to say thank you for joining us today in our 8th webinar for a cause. Pang-8 na po natin ito since nag-start tayo last June. So for 20 years, it has been my mission to be an advocate of education and the disadvantaged kids. Last year, we have launched 3 projects, and I'd like to thank all our avid supporters of all our causes. Our first project is Lapis ng Pangarap. And again, thank you to all our avid supporters for this success of the project. Let's watch this. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng supporters ng Lapis ng Pangarap campaign na inumpisahan namin last month. As of today, nakapagbigay na po tayo ng lapis at school supplies sa 23 schools, serving 6,571 students in Anda, Pangasinan.
Gracias. Balbalod na salamat.
Abaw, salamat. Salamat.
Naway makapagbigay ito ng pag-asa sa mga bata at sana'y patuloy silang mangarap para sa magandang bukas. Samahan niyo po ako sa adhikaing makaabot ang Lapis ng Pangarap sa iba't ibang sulok ng Pilipinas. Muli, maraming salamat po. Bakit po Lapis ng Pangarap? A boy used to stay after school searching for any pencils left under the chairs that he can still use. That boy is now teaching for 20 years, advocating for the most vulnerable kids. Sharing pencils and school supplies through Lapis ng Pangarap campaign, sharing my life experiences in conquering poverty and insurmountable obstacles, give hope and inspiration to the kids to reach for their dreams. There are still thousands of kids needing our support, especially in remote areas in the Philippines. So last year, I also launched the Inspiring Minds Transforming Lives project. And again, thank you to all the supporters of this Inspiring Minds Transforming Lives project. We Are in This Together is another fundraising campaign I initiated last year to unite community with 18 barangays in Anda, Philippines. And with the support of our friends from the US, Singapore, Philippines, and also OFWs from around the globe, we were able to raise almost 500,000 pesos for the students in Anda, Pangasinan, Philippines.
Salamat po.
Thank you. Thank you.
Salamat po. Thank you.
Salamat po. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat po. Thank you. Salamat. Maraming salamat po.
Mabawa, salamat.
Thank you. Salamat po.
So these are just our three projects at larger scale. And this July 15th, we will also launch another project called Brigada Escuela Adapta School Project. We hope to reach out to public schools in the Philippines, and we are asking you for your support. If you would like to donate or if you have any inquiries, please email me at celsoacademy@gmail.com, or you can also message me through FB Messenger at Gani Celzo. At this time, we encourage you guys to support Celso Academy by first like and follow our FB page at Celso Academy. Lahat ng mga certificates po ay pinupost namin sa FB page na to. So if you haven't done that yet, please do so now. Like or follow Celso Academy FB page for the certificates and updates on our webinars. Also, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Celso Academy as well. And don't forget to click on the bell button to get the latest videos. I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Thank you for your support in advance. Also, we've created FB groups to support teachers. In our previous webinars, we find a need to create a group. So I created the Global Educators Academic Platform. So our resource speakers can share the resources to all the teachers, especially the teachers from the Philippines. So please join the FB group, Global Educators. It's open to all teachers and any interested audience as well. Also, we have, I know we have some viewers right now who are students or future teachers taking the LET exam or the civil service exam. So we also created the Celso Academy review group. So this is also academic platform where we will be sharing some review resources for the college entrance test, civil service exams, and licensure examination for teachers as well. So these are the FB groups, academic platforms that you guys could join to get some of the resources you need for teaching and also preparation for the upcoming assessments. All right, and for today's learning targets, the main focus is to answer questions from the audience relating to teaching and learning. Also, the main emphasis is our PLC work or collaborative teams, and also focusing on student success. And if you have other questions regarding OFW, Life of Teachers as OFWs, we will have time to answer that as well. So, for us to achieve our learning targets for today, we've invited two guests from the US. One from Arizona, USA, and other one is from Nevada, USA. So we're privileged to be joined by these two friends of mine. Are you guys ready to welcome our guests? So our first guest is a BS Physics for Teachers graduate at Philippine Normal University. She has taught in the Philippines and is currently working in Arizona, USA as Dean of Students, CTE Director, and Robotics Coach. Let us welcome and give our virtual applause to Ren Magboo.
Hi. Thank
Good
you,
evening
Gani.
din sa'yo, Ren.
Good evening. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock here in Arizona right now. So I would like to greet good evening to all my friends here in Arizona and all over USA, and also good morning to all the viewers from the Philippines. So I just would like to commend you, Gani. I was having goosebumps while I was watching all the projects that you have been doing in the Philippines, and thank you for all you do for for all the people, for all the students back home. And I think that is really very inspiring to see. So I want to welcome and thank you to those who joined us this morning. So thank you for taking your time out and for being here today.
Again, thank you, Ren. And thank you for those kind words. And also, belated happy birthday. I know you celebrated your birthday this week. I'm right? Am I right?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I wish I could sing the birthday song for you. By the way, how's Clayton and your hobby?
Oh, they're doing great. They're doing great. Right now, they're also viewing. They are. I said, oh, please watch and tune in. So we're in three different places right now. So I'm in the living room. Clayton is in his bedroom, and Rene is in the dining room.
All right. So hi to your two boys.
Thank
All
you.
right. And our second guest is a BSE Math graduate, also at Philippine Normal University. She has taught in the Philippines, California, Arizona as well, and now she's a math teacher in Nevada, USA. I also had a chance to work with her for a few years at a traditionally underperforming school in California. Let's welcome and give our virtual applause to Rowie Suva-Nestel. Thank you for joining us, Rowie.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Are
Wow.
you in California now or Nevada?
Right now, I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right. So how's life there in Nevada? How's Nathan? Kumusta ang buhay ng may asawa?
Oh my God. Well, masaya. Ito, bakasyon kami since March, when the school went on online learning. I've been home ever since.
All right. So again, I want to say thank you ahead of time, Ren and Rowie, for joining us today and sharing your expertise and experience as an international teacher to our friends, teachers in the Philippines. But before we proceed with a question and answer, could you please briefly tell us your journey as an international teacher? Where did you study in the Philippines? What is your position right now? Where are you teaching? Although we have some of those information right now. So who wants to start?
I'll go
Ren, want to
first.
start?
Okay, I can start. Before I start, I just would like to give a shout out to
Sure.
all my teacher friends here in the US, and also all my college classmates in the Philippines, BSPT babes. And also, I would like to give a shout out to all my uh, classmates in high school and elementary, and my former teachers, especially also the teachers from Quezon province and my hometown, Sariaya, Quezon. Thank you guys for tuning in and for joining us today. So, how can I begin? Okay, so as what Gani mentioned, I'm a graduate of BS Physics for Teachers from Philippine Normal University in 2002. So also, so I've been teaching for 18 years. Oh my goodness. So I had 4 years teaching experience back in the Philippines. And then this is going to be my 15th year teaching here in the United States. So 4 years in the Philippines, I spent it 2 years in San Beda College, Alabang. So there I taught physics. I remember I was only 20 years old when I started teaching. Uh, also, 1 year I taught at Quezon National High School in Lucena City. That is the place where I had my practicum. So being a DOST scholar, I know I really needed to give back. And I think that's one way of giving back. I went back to the province and I taught at Quezon National High School. My 1 year also I spent teaching at Colegio San Agustin Makati. So that was school year 2005 to 2006. I taught physics and research when I was in Colegio San Agustin. Then in 2006, that's when I graduate. I migrated here in the U.S. So I had the opportunity to teach in a public school in Baltimore City Public Schools. And first year of my teaching career was teaching math. Wow, I taught data analysis, and then after a year of teaching math, I taught physics first and integrated science for 5 years in Baltimore City, Maryland. Then in 2012, I moved to Arizona. So right now, I'm working at San Carlos Unified School District. So the subjects that I taught included integrated science, physics, and of course, automation and robotics. So last year, I had the opportunity to get this position. So I became the Dean of Students for Academics and Activities. And also, I became the CTE Director, Career and Technology Education. And at the same time, I couldn't give up teaching, so I still have one load. So while doing admin position, I'm also teaching one class of automation and robotics. Robotics is really my passion. So okay, so also, I'm currently the executive secretary of Unified Arizona chapter. So Unified stands for United Federation of Phil-Am Educators. My master's degree is in special ed from St. Paul University, and currently I am completing my PhD in development administration. So yeah, my plate is kind of full, but I I'm enjoying it. So I think while I'm still young, I'm hoping that I'll be able to, finish that career, and hopefully I can also do projects just like what you're doing, Gani. I know we started some small projects through Unified already, and I hope to expand that as well. So I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ren.
Wow.
I'm really looking forward to working with you. I hope that you can join us in our causes. So please keep in touch and help. Let's help the different schools in the Philippines.
I would
All
love
right,
to.
Rowie, your turn.
Yeah.
Give us
Grabe. High,
your.
high level pala tong kasama natin ngayon. Eh, I'm so impressed. Grabe. Yung credentials ninyo ha. Anyway. Well, sa totoo lang, I didn't dream of becoming a teacher. I'm a frustrated engineer. I wanted to be an engineer, but I guess it's not for me. I have two architect brothers. I have a sister who's also a teacher. Her husband is a teacher. Her daughter is a teacher, and she's now also here in Texas. Hi, Rachel. Anyway, as Yanni said, I'm also a graduate of PNU with Bachelor of Secondary Education. major in mathematics. Hello sa batch 1999. I hope you guys are joining us today. Um, after graduating, I immediately went to teaching. My first job was in St. Mary of the Woods School in Makati. So I was there for 4 years. And then I moved to Don Bosco School in Manila. It's an all-girls school, Catholic. And then after that, I joined my sister in her school at Makabata School Foundation, incorporated in Pasig City. So that was like 7 years of teaching in the Philippines. And then one time, I have these two friends who told me or asked me like, "Hey, Rowie, we're gonna apply for a teaching position in the U.S. Would you like to join us?" And I said like, "You know what? I'm good here. I'll stay." And they were like, "No, just join. Come on, join us." And there's like 1,000 pesos seminar fee. So I told them, it's like, wala akong pera. Anyway, so they told me, okay, we're gonna lend you some money. Just join us. To cut the story short, I was the one who was able to go to the US because of my major. It's math, and they're elementary school teachers. So hindi masyadong in demand yung foreign teachers with that degree or with that subject to teach. So I came to the US in 2006. I was in Los Angeles Unified School District, so around 2012. I moved back to the Philippines because I said like I'm done, I'm tired. So I missed the Philippines and I went back home. I didn't do anything for a year. So after a year, I said like wala na akong pera. So nag-call center job ako for 1 year sa Convergys. And then after 1 year, I said like, okay, can I do this for forever, like taking calls? So I said like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try again and apply in the US. And so I was able to come back in 2014. In Arizona, I was there for 5 years. And then just last year, I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada to be with my husband. And currently, I'm at a high performing school. It's called East Career and Technical School. And it's been great. So it's like a new experience for me because I for so many years I have been assigned or I have taught at low performing and struggling school, kumbaga, pagdating sa behavior and even academics. So ngayon it's a totally different world for me. And to be honest, I was like culture shock when I came here because I'm not used to it. Like most of my kids are into like school, so they love school. So it's like it's a learning experience for me. I needed to change my approach to them. So ngayon, this is like my 21st year as a teacher, and I'm still here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rowie. I've mentioned that I've worked with Rowie at a traditionally underperforming school in Los Angeles Unified School District.
Oh yeah, 2007 ba?
I think until 2012, about
Yeah.
5 years, I think.
Yeah,
Right?
I left 2012 also.
So it was a roller coaster ride, transforming the school. Right, it was almost taken over by the state because of its non-performing status. So
Yep.
that was a quite experience. I also had a chance to build to co-design a new school in LAUSD, and it is now an existing school with about 800 kids. It's the School of Social Justice. So yeah. All right. Before we begin with our first question, we will do some shout outs first. And at the same time, I'm going to share with you now the attendance verification code. Please, all our viewers, please take note of this verification code. It's PLC 74. Make sure you take note of this when completing your evaluation form to get your e-certificates. At this time, I want to give shout out to some of our viewers. Hello to Abigail, Lani Vergara, Juvie Mojica, Imelda de Guzman. Thank you for watching. Ned, thank you. Robert, Nebila, Joanne, Ian, Sir Ran from Sariaya,
Sariaya, Quezon. Yeah,
Quezon.
that's my hometown.
Oh, say
Mhm.
hi to them.
Hello. I want to give a shout out to all teachers from Division of Quezon. Thank you, Sir Herbert. Herbert is he's my schoolmate. I graduated from Lutucan National High School, and then I graduated also from Lutucan Central School. So that's where we went to. So thank you, Sir Herbert, for sharing this to the teachers of the Division of Quezon.
Hello po sa lahat ng mga taga Quezon and maabi gabuklas kunran taga Anda Pangasinan. That's our dialect in Anda Pangasinan. So thank you for watching, Sir Rans. And then we also have Corazon from Pasay, Imelda Castro from Nueva Ecija, Ninita from Nueva Ecija as well, Sylvia from Quezon, Nancy from Pasay, Marjeline from Zamboanga del Norte, Lynn Cruz, Gina from Quezon, Mercy from Quezon. We have a lot of viewers from Quezon.
Yay!
It's from Cavite, Pazia, Marichu, Roder from Pampanga, Vanessa from La Trinidad Benguet. Wow, I really appreciate that you guys are joining us. I know internet connection is always a struggle in the Philippines. We have viewers from Benguet, Julius from Quezon Province, and we're going to give more shout outs later. So let us know that you're watching by commenting with your location or address in the comment section. Okay, so
Wow.
again, our attendance verification code is PLC 74. All right, Ren and Rowie, are you guys ready for the first question?
Sure.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's all over
Before I
the
give you guys
Philippines.
the first question, I'm just going to give an introduction about what is PLC. So PLC stands for Professional Learning Community, and according to Dufour et al., the definition is it's an ongoing process in which educators work collaboratively in recurring cycles of collective inquiry and action research in order to achieve better results for the students they serve. So during this webinar, we're going to focus on two things: collaboration and student success or results. This is the mission of PLC at Work. The first time I attended this PLC workshop was in 2004 in West Palm Beach, Florida. And the mission of PLC is really to ensure that every student learns at high levels. And that can only happen if teachers work collaboratively to achieve better results for the students they serve. All right, here's our question number one then, collaboration. So just like Rob said, teacher collaboration occurs when members of PLC work together to achieve that common goal of student achievement. So how will you describe or rate your teacher collaboration at your workplace? How often do you meet as a group? I will also encourage our viewers to respond to this question in the comment section. So I'll give you about 1 minute to think about this question. And then when you're ready, you guys could type in the comment section. Usually when I do cooperative learning structure in my classroom, I always give time for the students to think, for them to write down their answers. That way you can encourage the students to engage in a more collaborative discussion and productive discussion as well. So think, write, share is one cooperative learning structure that you can use in a regular classroom setting at the same time during virtual learning, because you can also do that with Zoom online classes. So think for a moment and then share your responses to the question. And then also we will hear from Rowie and Ren as well. So while you guys are doing that, I'm going to give shout outs to some of our viewers. Ramadevi, I see responses 3 and 4 for the collaboration.
Okay, I found this on the web.
Sorry, Siri also responded to my question. Wow, Marilu said 5. Marilu said, I'm gonna show some comments on your screen right now. Marilu said 5 at their workplace, and they meet once a month at the end of each month. So mostly 3 and 4 as the rate of our teachers.
Mhm.
All right, so we're gonna go back to those comments in a moment, but we're gonna use this time now to share our experience with teacher collaboration at our workplace. So we're gonna use we're only 3 popcorn strategies, so anyone could start. How will you guys describe teacher collaboration at your workplace? I know we've worked at a high functioning schools. We also work at a traditionally underperforming schools. So I think we have different levels of teacher collaboration. So we are really excited to hear from you guys. Um,
I'll go first.
So, okay.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Rowie.
um, okay, so what I can describe at this time is were my experiences from my previous schools, because my current one I've been there for a year only, and I would say I would give it a 4. Okay, with that 1 year that we've been doing PLCs, but I would like to expand more on my experiences in my 2 schools. The one in LA, Los Angeles Unified School District. So I was there for like almost 6 years. And during that time, the PLC is just beginning in, at our school. It was just introduced around the time that I came there. And everybody was struggling. Everybody, had no idea what to do. Okay, so I guess we were not clear on how it will work or what was expected of us. Okay, we were grouped according to different majors or different academies. Okay, our school it was divided into different academies. Like there's technology. Gani ano yung mga, I forgot all the different
Small
academies that we
groups.
have in, yeah, the different academies that we have in Huntington
Yeah,
Park High School.
it's been 8 years. I can't remember all of those, but I know.
Anyway, so what I remember was
Yeah.
where I was. So I was a member of business and technical academy. So our focus was about that. But then the school was so big that it's so hard to have collaboration, like communication, and I believe we only met like once a month, so it wasn't enough. So I would say that the PLC during that time did not work at our school. It did not really serve its purpose. But when I went to Arizona, so that was my school five for 5 years. There we were much smaller group. There were only 5 or 6 teacher members of the PLC. So basically, we were grouped by subject matter. So uh, by department, technically by department. So math department, science department, English department. So with our PLC, a math PLC, it worked really well. It so happened, I mean, it did because we have the support of our administrator. The principal is really the one focused on us, on how we're doing. Every meeting, he was there with us. So where can you find like a principal who really finds time to be um, like overseeing everything that's happening? And actually, for me, I like that. I like that our principal was so involved in everything that we did. Okay, I would give it a 5. Okay, because our principal gave us this like different um like guidelines. Okay, because based from his experience from his previous school, so he incorporated what he knew about PLCs and how it should work. Uh, so the collaboration, I would give it a 5, and it worked. Later, I will expand more on how we do things in our PLC. Why was it a 5?
Mhm.
Thank you, Rowie. I just want to add also from Rowie's experience because we worked together at that school for 5 years. It was really a struggle on the part of the teachers. It's like we're doing PLC work, but in reality, after realizing the true PLC at work, we didn't do PLC work. Those are not PLC work, right? Our focus during that time is really creating the curriculum, but that's all that we do. We never focus on student achievements.
Yeah.
In fact, for the last 8 years, the proficiency level in Algebra 1 is about 3 to 5%. So 95 to 97% of that school are not meeting the standards. So we are, for years or decades, the school is really doing a disservice to our kids.
Mm.
So it was really listening. All right, Ren, what about you? What's your experience with teacher collaboration in the US or the Philippines?
I think I would rate our school as like 4.5. You know why? PLC, I become emotional when I hear the word, when I hear about PLC, because I attended a seminar about PLC back in 2017 in Phoenix, Arizona. And one of the speakers was Dr. Rebecca Dufour. But on the same year, in December, I
Wow.
think I attended in January. In December, she passed away. So that's why I was, she is one of the, founders and advocates of PLC. But that's just, a side story about PLC. But why did I rank or rate our school as 4.5? Guess what? Last year, so we are a PLC school. I can say that. That's why they sent us to training to about PLC so that we know how to implement it. So I can talk about how does it look like as a teacher, and also I facilitate PLC also, being a CTA director. So why is it a 4.5? Guess what? When we did PLC consistently, our school letter grade went up to level higher. I just know what. So it's like really from F to a C. And
Wow.
we are really so excited this year. Unfortunately, pandemic happens. So how does it look like? So when we do PLC, actually, on our scheduling, what we did was our content area teachers, we give them same planning period. So we hold PLCs weekly. So every, like, if my principal is busy, I will facilitate the PLC. So we make sure that we do PLC once a week. So we have math PLC, we have English PLC, we have science PLC, we have CTE PLC, and so on and so forth. So collaboration is really important. In our school, we started having teachers write their own curriculum. We started by having teachers select the safety net standards. Safety net is, so Arizona standards have long list of standards. What we did was we narrowed them down. So basically our teachers selected like 10 to 12 standards that they will be focusing to teach for the whole school year. And then they will focus to teach only 3 standards per quarter. And in our PLC, we talk several things. So first, planning, okay? Planning. That is really important because if you are planning intentionally and purposefully, then I think you will see results at the end. So aside from planning also, we talked about alignment of standards and assessment. So that is very important. We look at the verbs, and then we ask the teacher, okay, if the verb is analyzed, we should be able to see on your assessment that the kids are really analyzing. So those are the types of discussions that we do in our PLC. And it's really good to hear from all the teachers, sharing their experience, sharing their struggles, and sharing student data, talking about interventions to those kids who need support, talking about enrichment to those kids who are really above or in the high proficiency level. So those are some of the things that we really talk about. The best part of our PLC is when we do data analysis. So we give
Yep.
benchmark assessment at the end of each quarter. And after that, we ask the teachers to data analyze. So that's it. They will identify which is standard got the highest result, and they are going to explain to us why do you think that standard really got the highest result, which standard got a very low result. So that's when the teachers have opportunity to really reflect on their teaching and of course the learning of the students. So I love PLC, and it really shows result, especially to the school where I am working right now. And I like hearing also the successes, of course, and the struggles of the teacher during PLC. And through collaboration, they were able to really help one another and also try things that are successful in one classroom and also things that don't work or that fail in another classroom. So it's a 4.5
Yeah,
for me.
thank you for those initial evaluation of your teacher collaboration at your workplace. In the Philippines, I think they call it differently. Some they call it collaborative teams or grade level teams, PLC teams. They mean the
Yep.
same thing, but I hope that there is really a focus on three things. Just to summarize some of the sharings of our resource speakers, the essential characteristics of PLC at work focus on three things, as mentioned by Rowie and Ren. The first one is really focusing on the collaborative. The first one is a focus on collaborative culture. So you really have to establish norms. When are you guys meeting? At our school here at SES, we're also meeting once a week as a team by grade level subject area. So there's four in our team. We meet once a week, and we try to come up. We always share the agenda to the PLC group, and it's not just focusing on creating the curriculum. Ren also mentioned about looking at the standards. That's one main work of the PLC, making sure that you know what you're teaching, right? And the second focus is the focus on learning. And we want to make sure that every student, whether students with learning needs or gifted kids, we want to make sure that every student are meeting the standards or exceeding the standards. So how do you go if they're already meeting the standards? What will you do next? So that's the second focus. And the third one is focus on results. So also Ren mentioned about analyzing data. That's another important characteristic of PLC at work. So again, collaborative culture, learning, and focus on results.
Is it okay if I add something before we go to the next question?
Yes, Rowie.
So listening to Ren, because as I've said, I was gonna like describe how we're doing our PLC at our school in Kingman, Arizona. So everything that you mentioned, we've been doing that, and as I've said, through the leadership of our principal, it really worked for. I believe it worked for us. Okay, and our scores improved as well. So we met once a week. And of course, initially there would be like planning of the curriculum, and then making formative and summative assessments. The summative assessment, so you have to have like an end goal for the year or for a quarter or for the semester. And then that would be your target. So you want to make sure that what you're teaching, will help the students to learn those standards. And So that's the initial part, planning, like when are you gonna meet. And regarding the data, the data, so we created common formative assessments. So for teachers that are teaching the same subject, like for example, there's three of us teaching geometry. So we created a formative assessment um, about a standard. Okay, and then the next after we taught that for a week or so, or after a certain number of days, the following time that we're gonna meet, we are going to compare the data with each other. It's like, okay, how did your classes do? How did your set of students do in the test? So with that, our principal um, told us, it's like, don't um, don't hesitate to share your data. Okay, these are your students performances, and do not worry, we will not take it against you if your students did not do as good. Okay, because I mean, so for us, we are very conscious, like, oh, my students didn't do good, oh, my students like really scored high, so it's like you will be proud, right? But the PLC doesn't work like that. Okay, you have to have an open mind about sharing what you did, what worked, what did not work, so that your um, co-workers at the PLC will learn from you, and you'll be able to learn from them as well. So that's how PLC works. It's not like a competition, but you have to grow together as a team. Okay, and then based on that, we would evaluate, okay, so do we reteach? Do we reinforce? Do we need more time for this standard or not? Or should we move on to the next? Okay, so that's how our meetings go, like every week. And then also for the information of teachers in the Philippines, normally here in the US, our students like in high school or even elementary, we go by credits. We don't it's like college like type of how do I say it? So they graduate based on how many credits they have for the 4 years of high school. So I think they need like 21, 22 credits,
Yeah,
22, right? So to be able to
23 in
graduate.
Arizona.
Okay.
23 credits, yeah.
So around that. So and what are these credits? These are based like for example, like if it's a major subject, let's say like a science course or a math course, those are like one full credits. Okay, then there are like half semester credits only, so that's like zero point 0.5. Anyway, the students are not grouped like our students in the Philippines. Here in the US, we don't have block sectioning. That's right. We don't have block sectioning, so students are transferring from one class to another. They don't know each other. That's the that's the challenge here. Because if you ask a student, like, what's the name of your seat? It's like, I don't know. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that PLC will work if everyone is willing to participate, willing to contribute, and willing to work with everyone in the group.
Yeah, especially now that we are all transitioning to virtual learning. I know in the Philippines, you guys are preparing for the blended learning nowadays. It's really, I think this is now the time to really collaborate with other teachers and work together, magbayanihan. Kasi kung kanya-kanya sa paggawa ng mga modules, it takes time. But if you're working
Yeah.
with your PLC teams, whether at your school or even your neighboring schools, kung lahat ng Algebra 1 teachers work together, then creating 8 units of lessons is going to be easier. So
Yeah.
try to create your PLC teams, divide and conquer. Um, that's the one reason why I created the Global Educators Group. That way we can share some resources to other teachers as well. All right, let's move on to question number 2. But before that, I'm going to give shout out to JC Aragon, Ian, Janeline Vergara, Jessa, Arcelina, Sylvia, Romel. Thank you for watching. Nelson, Gregoria. Thank you for watching. Peach, Melanie, Eleanor, Vanessa, Melanie. So thank you for watching. Also, viewers, if you have questions, you can ask us later, and we will try to answer those as well. All right, our second question is about transitioning to virtual learning. So, yes, in a month or two in the Philippines, they're starting in August 24th. Here in Singapore, we're starting August, first week of August. And I think California, you guys are starting like late August. So, what about Arizona? When are you guys starting?
We're starting on August 3rd. Teachers' contract will begin on July 27th. Yeah. We
So we
never
have
we never stop actually because we're also offering June. We offered June virtual academy. Then now we're offering July virtual academy, and we used it to pilot what we're gonna be doing for the fall semester.
Yeah, that's a great strategy. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think we also did our summer class for 6 weeks. I just finished my summer class last Friday, so I'm gonna be off for 3 weeks. But we can't travel anywhere, so stuck here in Singapore for the next 3 weeks. But we're also starting on August the 3rd. All
Mm.
right. So the question is, how are you guys preparing for the new normal in teaching and learning? I know in the Philippines right now, teachers are really creating modules. They're doing enrollment process now to different modalities, what they can use in their transitioning to blended learning. So, at your workplace, how do you guys prepare for the new normal in teaching and learning? So the same format, we're gonna ask the viewers to think about this question, and then when you're ready, type your answers in the comment section, and then we will share our teaching and learning plan here in Singapore, US as well. So we're gonna start in a minute. All right. Should we start with you, Ren? Because you already mentioned that this July you already started like a dry run of your virtual learning. So could you give us a little bit more about your plans as a school in this new teaching normal?
Thank you, Gani. So, I'm really fortunate that I work in a school district that we already our students are already one-to-one technology. So last year in
Wow.
August, yes, last year in August we gave every student a laptop. So that's why when it happened in March and we immediately, moved to virtual learning, every student in our school district already had the laptop that they can use. So, by the way, I didn't mention that I'm working in San Carlos Apache Reservation. So basically, we teach 99% of Native Americans, specifically San Carlos Apache students. So, as what I have mentioned, that our district will begin on August 3rd, and I've been working with the admin staff. I mean the administration of our district to plan our reopening structure. I mean our reopening, and we are going to start a full online learning. We are not going to do a blended learning, a hybrid learning. So in our district, so though Arizona superintendent, the state of Arizona actually gave us three options. So the first option, of course, is in person. The second option is blended, and the third option is full online. So and then every district is given the choice based on demographics, based on the needs, based on the resources. We were given the authority to select the type of learning that we're going to do this coming fall. So our district chose to do a full online, but we have to be an approved Arizona online instruction school. We call it AOI. So since we are not yet an approved one, so we're in the process. We already submitted the application. So I think this time they will be, giving in approving that AOI in order for us to be an official online school. So having said that, Rowie mentioned that in order for our seniors or 12th grade students to graduate high school, they should have 23 credits. 23 credits. During our traditional school year, we offered 7 classes a day. So if you are on track student, by the end of 4 years, you can get up to 28 credits. So that's why our students, when they finish 12th grade, when they reach 12th grade, they can have a half day schedule because they only need 23 credits to graduate high school. 4 years of math, 4 years of English, 3 years of science, and then elective classes like CTE programs. So this is how we're going to reopen. This fall, we are only going to offer 5 required classes to our students. We call it basic program. So what are those 5? 4 core content areas, which is math, English, science, social studies, and the 5th class would be a CTE program, or for our freshmen, it's going to be a health and wellness class. Okay, especially right now, one of the biggest concerns is the social and emotional needs of our student. So why are we only offering 5 classes? The reason is we want to simplify it so that expectations are simplified, uh, communication will be simplified. So we know we still have challenges, even though we have devices, but the challenges that are in front of us are the engagement of the students, the connectivity. Even though our district, guess what? Our district provided internet connection to every household. And that's what we are trying to solve right now, is if every student is using the internet, so it's really slow. And of course, the third one is communication. So yes, 5 classes. That is our basic program to reopen. So the reason also, so that our students will only focus to 5 classes to pass, okay? Not 7. We did the math already. When we go back normal, they will still be able to get the 23 credits when they reach 12th grade, okay? On the teacher point of view, that's why we're only doing 5. It helps teachers to focus on support and resources to help students pass their class. But of course, we have some high achievers. So even though our basic program would just be 5 required classes, we will have an optional elective classes. So for those high achiever, if they can still do a 6th class and a 7th class, and those could be dual credit classes, those could be a second CTE program, or that could be an AVID program, which is a career and college or post-high school course that would help them. So that is our phase 1. We don't call it semester 1. We don't call it quarter 1, quarter 2. We call it phase 1 because we really don't know when it is going back to normal. So then if semester one is over and we're still in a new normal, we're going to evaluate it. And then that is when, we're going to do some modifications or some improvement, and depending on the needs and the problem. This is one thing that I want to share with the teachers from the Philippines. One thing that we will be adding to this new normal is a success coach. A success coach. So we're going to have a success coach program. What is a success coach? A success coach would be a supportive and a caring adult who will be assigned to every student. So we're going to assign a supporting and caring adult to every student. And the success coach will communicate, will assist the students in making sure that they are submitting assignments, that they are well, because that is really important. The social and emotional needs of the students is our number one concern right now. So I think the second is academics. That's why we are doing this success coach, and I'm really very excited about it. I think even in the Philippines, every student there needs a success coach. And I'm excited how it's going to work out. We're going to provide training on how to become a success coach, and the success coach would we're hoping that it's going to help every student to succeed in facing this new normal. So that's kind of like our plan for our for the new normal.
Wow, that's a lot of plan, and I know you spend a lot of energy preparing for the school opening this new school year in Arizona. But kudos to all the teachers and admin and all the stakeholders, right? During this pandemic, we really need to involve everyone. We need to work together to better prepare for the coming school year. What about Las Vegas, Nevada? What's the plan? What's the plan for the new normal?
Okay, well, for one, I don't know if you have heard, but our numbers are going up when it comes to COVID-19 cases.
Yeah,
Okay, all the casinos have opened, restaurants, businesses. So although we are at 50% capacity of the businesses, but still many people are going out without masks, and not practicing social distancing, and it's so hard because right now we are going up again. Okay, we managed to have it like stable and low. That's why we opened up, like, we had phase one before, and then phase two. Right now we are at phase two, and our governor has just extended it up to like end of the month, end of July. So we don't know if we will be able to get out of this phase. Okay, what does it mean? We're in phase two, meaning there will be really no, it would be hard to put everyone back to school.
yeah.
Okay, so our district particularly have proposed to have three cohorts, like A, B, and C. Wherein cohort C will be doing all online. Okay, they will be all. This is by parents or students' choice. They will be given a choice. Would you want to be in group A, B, or C? So the C all online. The other two will be alternating in school. If you had seven classes a day, our school has eight, and we're trimming it down to half. So we're just gonna have four classes in a day, and instead of 5 days a week, we're going to have twice a week. The three other days will be for online. So the struggle right now is that who will be teaching all online, who will be going to school, and how are we going to prepare both, both ways. So I have been reading the comments from our teachers, who are with us today, and I'm very impressed, guys. Kudos to you. Nakaka-overwhelm ang mga preparations na ginagawa ninyo. This pandemic really um, challenge the education system around the world. Like, how are we gonna, yeah, like face, the situation, the 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 struggle with technology. Okay, okay, let's admit it. Not all teachers are into technology use. I, for one, okay, I can do like the basics, but then I'm not really a tech savvy person. Okay, I would say I'm a traditional teacher. Okay, I would be doing like, whiteboard and then marker, and then, well, I would do like, slides, videos, and all that. But this, like right now, what you're doing, Gani, it seems so easy for you now, right? Because you're already used to how to navigate. And these are the things that we need to get used to. These are the things that we need to prepare for. Okay, aside from that, right, of course, in the Philippines is a different situation. I'm seeing like modules, right? And last night I was talking to my classmates, my friends, back in college, because they're also teachers from different parts of the world. There's one in Dubai, there's one in Indonesia, and then here in the States, other states as well. Uh, nakaka nakaka-overwhelm kasi hindi mo alam kung safety ba muna or emotional kasi I've been reading comments from parents that they don't want to send their students their kids to school. Okay, and there are people that would say like, no, let's go back to school. If the restaurants or if the casinos are open, why cannot we go to school, like normal people? We don't need masks. Like, there has been so many riots, and do you remember that, like last May, when there were so many street protests around the country? But what effect did it have in our numbers? I know it has risen, but still, it's not as what we think about like that. Uh, Anyway, for preparation, I need to do a lot of webinars like what we're doing right now. This is giving me so much information instead of me giving you guys, what I have. But I think I'm learning more from you. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to all the teachers.
All
I
right.
wanna add. Can I
Yes,
add
Ren.
something? Because I know I saw one of the questions is how do you check the attendance of the student? So in our district, we're using a learning management system, which is Schoology. So basically, in order for us to check student attendance, we're going to use the user analytics. So you will be able to see there if they logged in or not. So we'll be using the login information. Now, in terms of engagement, it's different. So we will have attendance, the login information, but the returning of work would be the engagement. And that's what we're going to grade. So we made it clear. Another thing also is if in the Philippines, they can train the parents also. So right now we are in the process of training our parents, doing some, like maybe in the Philippines, flyers could work, maybe give parents some training because especially, like the type of options that you are giving them. So parents would also be educated and knowledgeable of how they are going to support their kids. So that is really important. Plus, the students also do not start right away. Maybe first 2 weeks, orient the students on how they are going to respond or what are the expectations for this new normal. So right now it is not about quantity, it's about quality. And right now it's about also the wellness of the teachers, of the students, of the parents, of all of us. So that's
Yeah,
what I
I
wanted
can
to.
agree more with you, Ren. When we transition to virtual learning, the emphasis is really the well-being of the students and teachers. That's the top priority. Academics just follow after that. Here in Singapore, we had a smooth transition to virtual learning from March to first week of June. Main reason for that is as a school, we are Also, Apple distinguished schools. So we have one-to-one laptop, and of course, you know that Singapore has a fast internet, right? So it's really connection is really not a problem here in Singapore. Also, we have been using Google Classroom for the last 3 years now here. So it's a great learning management system tool that you guys could use. It's a one-stop shop for all the students and parents and teachers. You can post your Google Slides there, your instructional materials, assessments, and everything. The only thing that we added this year is the use of Zoom and Google Meets. That's our platform in creating the synchronous virtual learning. So also just like with Ren's class structure, we have day one, day two. So basically on day one, we have 3 core classes and 2 electives. And on day two, we also have the same thing, 3 core classes and 2 electives. And the good thing about that schedule is the teacher part. For me, for example, on day one, I only have one class for 55 minutes and advisory class for 15 minutes. And for the second day, I only have 2 classes, 55 minutes each, and advisory. So the focus of the advisory is building the relationship with your kids, checking, making sure that they are doing great at home, right? Um, for the administrators, if you could make the schedule friendly to teachers as well, that will be great because we know teachers also have kids dealing with virtual learning. So they're going to be teaching at the same time, taking care of their kids doing the virtual learning as well. I just want to add our plan for this school year because here in Singapore, we have a different situation. Our students here in Singapore come from more than 50 countries around the world. So every year we have 20% of our students are new coming from other countries. So last May, we already decided and meet as a department and grade level team. So we did vertical planning to make sure that we know what we covered, what we didn't cover this school year, because that will be a gap when we start in August. So make sure that you know your curriculum, what will you be teaching, if there's some things that you need to go over as a grade level PLC, do that beginning of the school year. Also, since we have students coming from other countries, we also administer an online placement test for the kids using Edulastic. So this is just an initial placement test. We will give another placement test in August to make sure that they are in the right classes. And in August, we will begin with a 2-week math boot camp to make sure, again, that the students are at the right place. So again, depending on what type of students we serve, we can prepare for the opening of this school year in this August, like in a month or so. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add, girls? And before we continue with the next one?
Well, for
Yes.
me, I saw your plan. Actually, we're 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 going back on the 10th of August. That's tentative. Again, we don't know what's going to happen in a month with the COVID cases. But right now, tentatively, we're going back August 10th with students on August 24. So there are 2 weeks for teachers to do trainings and meetings and preparation and PLCs and how do we go about things at school and while we're doing online learning. Back in March, when the school closed because of the pandemic, we closed March 17th to May 28th. Okay, that's the end of our school year. We gave students choice if they want to keep their third quarter grade, or if they want to improve it, then they have an option to continue and do whatever activities or assessments, or they have to continue participating in our online classes. But those who are already satisfied with what they have, then they just said like, I'm good, I'm good with my grade. Now the issue was because majority of our students do not have internet access. I was only able to reach like 33% of my students. Only 33%,
Wow.
yeah, 33% responded. Okay. And even up to the end of the year, I have not heard from several students, like no communication at all. Okay. So, of course, our school took care of that. I believe they sent letters, and all that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what would be the difference back then to this time, that we're still not, the pandemic is not over. Okay. So right now, I believe we just have to prepare both ways. Okay. Whether we're going to be teaching in person, whether we're going to be doing it online. And, sa Pilipinas, it's actually good that you are doing all these modules, and, like, I believe you will have like printed copies as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, modules. Okay, speaking of that, it my friends in Arizona, they send modules to students. Okay, guess what? Out of 100, they got like six back. Modules they printed like copies and copies. Like thousands of papers were wasted, and very few students return them. So these are the things that we need to address. These are the things that we need to prepare for, and I need to prepare for. Okay, as a teacher, um, I will be joining Gani, your FB group, and I wanna hear from teachers around the world, and especially from Philippines, how you're doing this, with the problem with technology. So
Yeah,
yes.
please. Thank you. Again, I want to take this time again to plug the two groups. Please join the FB groups, global educators. That way we can connect to other teachers from the Philippines and even teachers around the globe, right? We have some resource speakers waiting to share their resources. So use that academic platform as well. And if you're preparing for the civil service exams, your LET exam or civil service exams, we also have the Celso Academy review groups. So join those two groups as well. Okay. All right. Our third question is all about the second focus of PLC work, which is intervention and enrichment. So the question is, what intervention and enrichment plans do you have at your workplace to address the learning needs of all the students? And I hope that we can relate this as we transition from the traditional to the virtual learning as well. So audience, this is your time to think. And once you're ready with your responses, please share them in the comment section. Thank you for watching, Rachel Roberto. I'm going to show your comment as well. Rachel said, doing distant learning as a platform of education is really challenging. A lot of things to consider. I agree that students need to have full guidance, so having a success coach is a good idea.
That's
Yeah.
my niece. Pamangkin ko yan, Gani.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Hi,
She's in,
Rachel
she's,
Roberto.
she's
Yeah,
teaching in Texas.
yeah.
Yeah. I saw my sister also, Avic. Her mother,
Mm.
Rachel's mother, is teacher in the Philippines as well.
Yeah. And transitioning to virtual learning, it's really important that you communicate well to the teachers and students. What platforms you guys are using? Again, we're lucky here in Singapore that we've been using Google Classroom and Flipped Classroom for 3 years now here. So transitioning is really easy. But I think communication is really a powerful element for the success of virtual learning. So as a school, make sure you communicate that well to your students and parents. That's really important. Work together. All right. So intervention and enrichment. We're going to hear from our viewers. What do you guys do as a PLC? What type of intervention and enrichment are in place at your school? Are you guys ready?
Yep, sure.
yes.
Okay. You want to start, Rowie, this time?
Okay. All right. For intervention, we are fortunate to have budget for after school tutoring. Okay, so we have tutoring in place every day. Okay, at least 4 days a week, um, wherein students can freely go to uh, to the tutoring center to get help. Okay, to get what do you call it? To get help. Okay, so that they can hear the lesson again from another teacher. Okay, we do parent calls. Okay, so parent communication is very important because sometimes the reason why a student is not performing, chances are something's going on back home that we're not aware of, and sometimes we're surprised. It's like, okay, he's been doing well for the past few weeks, and then suddenly bumaba yung grade niya. So why? So we have to know also our students and their family, like at least the basic things that's going on in their family life. Um, we reteach as a whole. If after an assessment that you gave and you're not satisfied with the result, then of course you have to think, okay, should I teach it in another way? Should I extend, should I give them more practice? Okay, so that's for our intervention. And another thing that we do is talk to the student. Okay, again, I mentioned about family life. So sometimes when you speak to the student and ask them what's going on, what's bothering them, why are they not doing so well, what don't they understand in the lessons, or is it something personal? Okay, it is very important to communicate with your students. Uh, we have to address the needs also of our special education students, those who have learning disability or behavior issues. Okay, so we have to do something for them as well. For That's for intervention. For enrichment, normally I give more challenging. I'm a math teacher, so I give more challenging problems to students that are higher performing, or that can finish a problem fast. Sometimes I make them the tutor. Okay, I let them share and explain to their peers. Okay, how they did the work, because sometimes it actually develops their communication skills, not only their intellectual, but also their communication skills, if they're able to share it to their peers. Okay, and sometimes they do understand their classmate better than the teacher, because they use words that that are at the same level as them. Okay, um, sending students to competitions. Okay, I'm not personally doing that, but I have my coworkers who are teaching higher level math that does that. So he sends them to competitions to give them more enrichment. Uh, I guess that's it for intervention and enrichment.
Thank you, Rowie. Ren,
Thank
your
you.
turn.
Before I answer this, I just realized Rowie mentioned that she's a frustrated engineer. Guess what, Rowie? I am too. I really wanted to be an engineer, but because I came from a poor family and I took advantage of the DOST scholarship, so I can go to college for free, receive some. I just realized that I was like, oh, we have something in common. But yeah, I still took a course related to engineering. So that's why I'm doing robotics still. I know it has something to do with engineering. So I don't know. At least I'm still doing it, and I'm so
Yeah.
happy that I became a teacher. So, and then that's maybe the reason why where I'm here right now is because
Yeah.
I chose to become a teacher.
And
So
you're
that's
still here in the teaching profession for 15, you said 18 years. So, yeah, we all have our journey to becoming a
mhm.
teacher, right? But the good thing is you are still here making an impact in the society.
I
All
hope she
right.
doesn't. Sorry.
Okay, here's my answer. I know that's just a quick commercial. Yeah, I looked at it in a different lens. So let me talk about intervention plans that we have in our school. So academically, so the intervention plans that we have, same thing with Rowie, we have budget for after school programs. So those kids who are at risk, or not only at risk, but those kids who are maybe just a passing, I mean, they are just getting a passing grade. So we recommend them for after school. We also offer intercession. So intercession, these are intercession classes are offered during school breaks, semestral break, or yeah, it's like every time there is like a break, fall break, then we continue offering intercession classes to provide intervention to the students. Behaviorally, we have some intervention, and I think one of the best intervention programs that we have in our school is we put up a care center. Okay, so a care center, basically, because we move away from ISS, like in school suspension. So what we did, we put up a care center. A care center provides basic needs such as clothing, shoes, hygiene products, shower, laundry, as well as social and emotional support for any student needed assistance. And it really works. Well, our students become more open. We build a better relationship with our students when we turned our in-school suspension to a care center room. It really helps tremendously in making sure that our students become the best student, and that's what I would like to share in the Philippines too. I know we moved away from giving like intervention that is really focusing on the problem, but really providing their needs in order for us to help our students. We also have parent educators. So I know parent involvement is one of the keys for student success, and that is one of our challenges. So we have parent educator who goes out to the community, and who also hosts some activities at school. We invite parents. I think this is similar to like Parent Teacher Association in the Philippines, or like the PTA. So we call it parent educators. Uh, Other interventions that we have co-teaching model. So maybe we have a luxury of having some extra teachers. So we use a co-teaching model, and it really helps, especially when you are differentiating instruction inside the classroom. We have also what we call targeted intervention. So that is in classroom. Of course, I don't want to discuss one by one those instructional strategies for intervention. I know our Filipino teachers are really great at it. I know, like in English, in math, how do you do intervention inside the classroom? But one thing is, make sure when the teachers are grouping, make sure they are intentional and they are purposeful. So that's about intervention. Enrichment. So, of course, one way is we have advanced classes. So we have an advanced class in math, advanced class in science, advanced class in English, and also we have some online resources that we can provide to our high achievers. Another thing also, we allow choice, especially our elective programs. We let the students choose their elective programs. We offer dual enrollment classes. So dual enrollment is we have teachers who have master's degree who can offer a class that when the student gets out of high school can also get a college credit. I know you have dual credit in LA too, right? You have,
Yes. In
okay.
in Las Vegas, you mean?
Mhm. Oh yeah, in Las Vegas. So another enrichment. that we have for our graduating students, we have this homeroom program, and we actually group our senior students based on their declaration of what they want to do after high school. So we call it the college and support. So we have a 4-year college track student, homeroom. We have a 2-year college group, we have military group, we have workforce, those kids who would like to get a job right after high school. And I think it's really helping to prepare our students to prepare after high school. We also have avid program. So maybe I know LAUSD has a avid program. uh, so it's really good. It focuses on how you will prepare students as early as ninth grade in selecting the career that they would like to be, and helping them how to write, how to read, things that will help them to become successful in choosing their career or their college. So those are the intervention plans and the enrichment plans that we are doing at our school. And we are going to do some virtual version of this. So I know this is for traditional, but we already included this in our new normal plan.
Yeah, I just want to add that when we did virtual learning in March to June, also, we did intervention Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, wherein students can go to Zoom groups to the core subject teachers. So it's a small group discussion with those kids needing help. Here in Singapore, our main focus is on enrichment because, again, we serve different students, mostly high functioning kids. So, but we also have learning students with learning disabilities. That's why we have learning support specialists in all our classes. By the way, what's the average class size at your school, Ren and Rowie?
I think between 20 and 25 students.
That's
I
right.
Wow,
know.
up to 25. Lucky you.
What about you,
Um,
Rowie?
I I am fortunate to have like 20 to 27. I have a 30 up to 30, but some of my other co-teachers they have up to 38, and they
Yeah,
have like smaller rooms.
yeah. I experienced when I taught in LAUSD. I know I had Algebra 1 geometry class with
40.
40 kids. I even
Yep,
have
yep,
48
yep.
kids. So providing intervention and enrichment is really difficult when you're having those number of kids. And in the Philippines, I know it's normal to have 50 to 60
Oh
kids.
my
I
God.
used to have 50. Yes.
Josefina Fermi said in Pinas, 50 to 60 students. That's the reality. When I taught in a Catholic school, I had 40 kids as well. But I can't I can't imagine myself now teaching 50, 60 kids in a
Kaya sa
class, right?
kaya sa totoo lang sa mga teachers na nasa Pilipinas, saludo kami sa inyo.
Yeah. Here in Singapore, so kudos to all our Filipino teachers. Here in Singapore, our class size is 22. And
Wow.
I also have a learning support specialist for 2 of my classes. And again, the emphasis for us here is on enrichment. So we have 3 levels of challenge. The goal for every student at our school is to be at green level, which are basically foundational or meeting the standards questions. So we differentiate our assignments and assessments based on their levels. In fact, this year for my 8th grade students, they were assessed at the end of the year, and if they pass certain assessments, then they can skip some classes. So this year I have some students taking geometry in grade 9, algebra 2 in grade 9, and calculus BC in grade 9. So it's really amazing to see where the students are. But again, it's because of the different levels of challenge that we provide to our kids. And another factor, of course, is the parent involvement again. That's really a huge factor in student progress and achievement. So if we can bring the parents together to support the kids, I think the students can achieve more. It's already 12:35. Great
Oh
conversations.
my gosh. Overtime na pala tayo.
Yes, we are over time. So I think we're gonna end it with the final tips and strategies for our teachers in the Philippines. Teachers from the Philippines, if you have maybe some questions, post them in the comment section. We will try to answer them. But right now, we're gonna continue with the final tips and strategies that you guys could share to all our teachers in the Philippines. I'd like to take this chance now to really thank all our Filipino teachers. 2 weeks ago, I posted a on Facebook about teachers going to the mountain just to get the signal to attend webinars like this. So
Mhm.
kudos to all our teachers. And I also saw one comment about teachers visiting houses to provide modules and worksheets for the kids. So really amazing teachers, and adaptability to this new normal is admirable. So kudos to all our teachers in the Philippines. All right, so final tips. If you guys have any final tips for our teachers as we transition to virtual learning. We're gonna have our audience as well. Again, type your comments in the comment section. We will try to answer them. If you have questions about life of teachers as OFWs here in the US or Singapore, we will try to answer them as well. All right, final tip. Ren, do you have final tips for our viewers from the Philippines?
Yeah, I'm really big on the social and emotional being of our students, especially in the Philippines. And so, one of the things that I would like to remind all the teachers is always check the well-being of the students, their families, and it's the second would be their academics. Social well-being right now is more important than their academics performance, and because we're this pandemic, we were not ready for it, and so as educators, it's really difficult, how much more for our students, and of course for the families who actually rely mostly in educating the children through schools. And so right now they are at home and doing those modules on their own with their parents. So I think we have to check their well-being regularly. Another thing is provide timely and immediate feedback to the students. So whatever they're doing, whether it's blended learning, module, so make sure that you provide feedback. Also, it would be helpful if you will provide them bite-sized information. Do not give them so many things to do. Maybe right now, let's think about a more like a simplified module. So again, I am big on quality versus quantity. So as teachers, we make kids to learn. We are not to we're not teaching just to cover the content. So make sure that we provide quality support and quality teaching materials to the students, especially during this new normal. And the last one is increase your teacher presence. I know our students still need us. So do the best you can to increase your teacher presence. So it could be through videos, it could be through audios, or it could be through text messages. Because I think right now our kids are still fixated that we need our teachers in order for them to learn whatever is in front of them. So I think those are some of the tips that I would like to share with the teachers in the Philippines. And kudos, I know all of us, I think the new normal is more challenging, it's more demanding, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Before we go to Rowie, there's a question from Catherine Vakal. How do you monitor students if you have 83 students for enrichment? Again, the number is really huge. It's difficult to monitor. But with virtual learning and the different online platforms that I use Khan Academy and IXL where you can create classes. So if you assign assignments or assessments for the kids, for these 83 kids, you can purposefully choose those kids who are needing the enrichment. And in fact, you can also assign different assignments and assessments with different levels. So if you missed the previous webinar using Khan Academy and IXL, I think that was June 27th. Please try to watch that. Again, try to explore Khan Academy and IXL. It's not just for math, but all subjects. So those are great online assessment tools to monitor your student progress. And yes, Rowie, your turn. Tips,
Okay.
final tips.
Well, before I give the tips, I want to add to what you said. Although you are focusing on the virtual or online, okay, online assessment, how students are if how to check if students are learning. In when we go back to the classroom, okay, in my classroom, what I do is I use whiteboards, okay, wherein all students have whiteboards, and if I have a simple question, is like, what is 2 plus 2? And every single student have to have an answer on their whiteboard. I will give them, like, a certain amount of time, like let's say 15 seconds, 1 minute, depending on the difficulty of the question. So with that, they would be raising their boards, and I will be seeing, okay, out of like 25 out of 30, how many correct answers am I seeing? It's like a general view, okay? So, okay, there's only like 2 students that got the right answer, so meaning they cannot follow. That is how I assess my students. And at the end of in the beginning of the class, what I do is sort of review questions. So I would give them 1 or 2 questions, like a warm up or bell work, and then we will be discussing that. Let's say first 5 minutes of class, and then based from that, I would see, it's like, okay, they didn't remember what we talked about the previous meeting, or oh, they actually remember, they know. Okay, so now we can proceed. At the end of the class, I give them exit ticket. Again, these are just 1 or 2 questions about what I taught for the day, like what skill, what did I want them to learn. So I'm going to give them a certain problem, a certain question, and then when they leave, I will look at the answers and see, okay, I got 75%, 80%, or 100%, correct answers, meaning they got you. They understood you. Okay, so for the final tips, right now we are all overwhelmed with what's going on. Our administrators are expecting so much from us. Um, I I want you to know you're not alone. First thing, okay? We are all in this together. Okay? Gani is here. We are here. You can communicate with us. You can ask questions if you're, if you don't know if you don't know how to do some things, okay? And continue attending or participating in webinars like this, or create a group with among your PLCs, and then collaborate, start planning. It's like, okay, how do you do this? Okay, what am I going to do? So it is important that you have support groups. Okay, do not do it by yourself. It's going to be so hard. When you're struggling, ask help. That's very important. Okay. um, uh, the important, so since this webinar is about PLC mainly, within your schools, hopefully you can suggest to your administrators, like, try to explore more on the idea of PLC, how it works, and how it will help, um, for a better student success at your schools.
Thank you, Rowie. I just want to add and build on those things that Rowie and Ren mentioned. It's really important right now to build a PLC or collaborative teams.
Yep.
Your school or even division, just like what I mentioned before, you could also create PLC teams within your hometown. All like Algebra 1 teachers, all grade 1 teachers work together as a collaborative team. This is the time to really observe bayanihan, share your resources, don't work in isolation. You need someone like a support system, just like what Rowie said. You need to have a support system to get through this blended learning and transitioning to the new normal. Second, make sure that the school, the teachers communicate your continuity of instruction plans, not just to the students and parents, and to make sure that you establish that high expectation, not just again to the students, but also parents as well. And the third thing that I think I find successful when I transition to virtual learning this March is I always try to make the virtual learning experience as close as possible to the regular classroom setting experience. So if you have do now activities in your regular class, do that in virtual learning. Try to do student engagement, group work activities. You can all do that through Zoom, through breakout sessions and Google Meet. You can also do that. Cooperative learning structures, you could also do that with virtual learning. So again, it's just a different platform, but you can still apply what you've been doing in a regular classroom setting. And I can't emphasize it more. The most important thing is your well-being. Again, not just the students, but teachers as well. So that should be the top priority. Okay, so those are just my simple tips as you guys transition to blended learning. Before we close, we still have, I saw one question about application to the US. I think she's a special ed teacher. I know that in the US, there is a huge need for special ed teachers, math, science teachers as well, right? But with this pandemic right now, I'm not sure if they are allowing teachers from other countries join the US. So,
I would like to address that.
sure.
um, for your information, the CFO or Commission on Filipinos Overseas actually stopped the teacher exchange program. For now, it's indefinite. Okay, and then many reacted because many teachers are already in the process of coming here. Many have been hired across the U.S., but unfortunately, that's the CFO side. That's the Philippine side. But for your information, just recently, uh, President Trump has stopped some visas, okay, issuing visas, and that's including J1 visa, at least for the rest of the year, for the 2020. And I'm not sure when they will allow teachers or J1 participants to come here again. So currently, it's a stop.
Yeah.
There's no yeah.
Yes, Ren?
I
Go
just
ahead.
would like to give credit to my principal, Miss Poole. So basically, all those things that I mentioned about success coach, care center, of course, our reopening plan, are she's the brain of all of those. So I just would like to give credit to her. Her name is Susan Poole from San Carlos High School, San Carlos, Arizona.
All right. So I think those are the last questions from our viewers. Again, these are our learning targets for today, and I hope that we were able to address all of those things. In addition, make sure you guys complete the attendance verification feedback survey to get your certificates. I have here the code PLC74. That's the code. Make sure you do that. And the certificates will be available at 8 p.m. tomorrow. If you have other questions, you guys could email me at celsoacademy@gmail.com. Also, join our FB groups, Global Educators, and Celso Academy Review Group. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Celso Academy. Hit the bell button and also like our FB page for the latest updates. That's a lot of plugging there, you girls. All right, final shout outs to your friends in the Philippines, if any.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to all my classmates, to all the teachers once again from Quezon province, from especially from my hometown, Sariaya, Quezon. Of course, special shout out to my friends here in the US, especially the teachers here at San Carlos Unified School District, San Carlos High School. I know we have several Filipino teachers who are working with me. Dr. Terenia, Mr. and Mrs. Shar, Mr. and Mrs. Obelia, Miss Madrid, Miss Ordonez. See that? We're like almost half of the faculty are Filipino teachers. So
Wow.
yeah, so that's why I'm just so grateful that we're able to work with them, to collaborate with them. And yes, who else? I know from Quezon National High School, I saw some of my teachers before. Special shout out to Miss Orogo. She visited me last year here at my home place when, Quezon National High School attended the Intel International Science Fair. So I would like
Wow.
to give a kudos. And unfortunately, this year there was no International Science Fair. But yeah, I'm so proud that I was part of Quezon National High School faculty and staff. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in tonight. I hope you learned something from
Rowie,
the three of us.
Rowie.
Yep. So shout out to my family back in the Philippines. Hello, Nanay. Advance happy birthday to you. I was supposed to go back to to go home to the Philippines for vacation, but it didn't happen. And shout out to my sister, Abby. Hi. Sino ba bang pinapanood mo dyan? And to my friends in Texas, and of course the batch 1999 BSE math evening class. Hi.
All right. Hi also to all the PNU ones, right? And
Yep. All of us are PNU ones.
here we are.
Nice.
And also, I would like to say hi to my relatives and families in Anda, Pangasinan, and my families in Cavite. And also, please join me in praying for the speedy recovery of my brother. Get well soon, bro. All right. Thank you, Rowie and Ren. Please stay with me to have a little conversation after this. But I want to say thank you to all our viewers from the Philippines and other parts of the world. I know we have some from Doha as well. So thank you for watching and hope that you guys could join us again in the future. Thank you so much and
Thank you, Gani. Thank you,
have a
Gani, for
great
having us.
Yes, thank you, Gani, for inviting
Ren
us.
and Rowie, stay with me, okay? Don't
Okay.
go. All right. Bye, Philippines.
Thank you,
Bye. I miss
everyone.
you.
Good luck to school year